the old Universal 77 package that had the Lon Chaney.
Now, I understand you got the show House of Frankenstein.
Oh yes,
That's
yes.
something many hosts today don't have that opportunity.
Oh yeah,
unless they pirate
my
it.
son, my number one son gave that to me as a Christmas gift, and it had all of the again I identified as the Universal 77 horror package because that was what it was called when it was for sale to stations who wanted to put it on TV.
Exactly.
And we got lucky enough to do that. And boy, did the ratings go through the roof when we put that on. But I think they were classics. I really do. Loved them. Still do.
They are the best.
In my opinion, they're as good as it gets.
Opportunity to do that. Did you do many appearances while you were on television in Madison?
Not unless I was under arrest.
Okay.
No, I didn't do too many. Not really. I wasn't a whole lot of call for it. I never understood why that had to be, but no, I never did. Now and then, but not much.
All right, we're losing our light here, so we're going to take a little break. We'll be back with Mephisto in a few minutes. Did I put an M in where it wasn't needed? I don't know.
I don't care.
M&M. All right, Ghoulies, we'll be right back in a few minutes. We'll do some adjusting here, light-wise. Cool. We are, Ghoulies. I had a great time, and it's been a great time to be here on MATA Television in Milwaukee and to be part of the Milwaukee Horror Host tradition. I believe I think I've outlasted some of them by now. I can't remember. I think Cadaverino might still had a few years on me.
Yeah.
It's not altogether clear on that or not. But great to have been here. And by the way, I don't get up to the wilds of Milwaukee too often. But if there is a venue or a club that would like Dr. Destruction to throw an anniversary party up there, feel free to contact me. It's Dorian Destruction on Facebook, but there may be, I think you can reach me at drdestruction.us. It's a new website. Well, it will have all things destruction on that website. Something new. The Professor Spring. Can you believe we're mentioning that name again?
I know.
Well, he's probably better at web design, because he can do that at home. He doesn't have to show up anywhere. Mm-hmm. We had problems with him showing up.
Really?
But we love the big galoot anyway. You ever seen Professor Spring?
I don't know if I ever.
Imagine a 300-pound, 40-foot cherub.
Yikes.
But he wins the ladies over. He's a lady killer,
Really?
He's got the bodies in the basement to prove it.
Oh boy.
Terrible conditions here. All right, well, very fine to have delivered such a enormous television. They had the special on Christmas with Bozo. Now Milwaukee needs some of its own. So I hope you tuned in and enjoyed it. Contact us about anything you want. We're ready here to serve. We love Milwaukee. We got to make some Milwaukee appearances.
Oh, yeah.
Like at the Rocky Horror Picture Show in Milwaukee.
That would be a good one.
That would be a fantastic one to go to. You ever been there?
I don't think so.
No? Not at the Oriental?
I don't think so.
I try to put a little Rocky Horror in everything I do. Anyway, Ghoulies, you have a horrifying week. We'll see you next time on Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater. Understand having an alias?
Having an alias?
Well, yeah.
Buster. Having an alias.
Yeah, an alternate.
Oh, yeah, sure. I have many of them.
Well, no, while I'm on that, is Buster ever going to return?
Buster's in Betty Ford Clinic, and I don't think they're going to let him out, if you want to know what I think.
Okay, I see a little bit on I think it was on your website about a balance of optimism and pessimism. Did you say that?
I think somebody got me to say that in an interview, because they were saying that, I'm interested in this kind of a philosopher, kind of a comedian philosopher who's was a Romanian cat who lived in Paris, and his name was Emile Cioran. And this woman who had interviewed me looked him up and started reading some of his stuff, and she said, "Oh my God, it's so pessimistic, And I think it's funny, so I was trying to explain to her that the void is ever present or not present, depending on your definition of nothing. And so I was trying to explain to her that you have to have a sense of humor of such things, because you want to keep on taking in air and enjoying the fruits of the Maya.
Okay, because every time I've been looking through all these pictures of you, and you're always smiling.
I'm smiling.
You're always happy.
Sure, it's kind of like whistling in the graveyard.
So how's this tour been going so far? Now you've got 3 brand new albums. They're all fantastic. I mean, I've got every one. I played them over and over and over again. And so what's it like now?
Dancing backward in high heels
I love that album.
on 429 Records. Is that what it is? 429.
But yeah, that was a real surprise too. And I mean, just what's it like? Just I mean, still be doing this? Should I say what's been 40 years? No, with 400.
We're 300 in rock and roll years, yeah.
Okay.
And so we're still young.
Oh yeah, definitely young.
Biblical ages, of course, we've got a lot more to go. We're like old turtles.
But you're moving pretty quick.
Well, it's there's help. There's help involved. I don't want to get into it.
Can I say that? Do you want to know what it's like?
Yes.
I'm going to say, 2 days ago, we stopped for breakfast in a place called Albert Lee, Minnesota. Now, one would think, oh, Albert Lee, Minnesota. What could possibly be the significance of Albert Lee, Minnesota? Well, if you look it up on Wikipedia, you'll find under famous people from Albert Lee, Minnesota, one, Mr. Eddie Cochran.
Ah, awesome. Well, you never know where they go. I mean, Orson Welles came from Kenosha, Wisconsin. That's where I'm from. So Orson Welles.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you should be very.
Really?
He did. Yeah, he did.
Wow.
He did. So we were talking about your guitars a little
Yes.
bit earlier, like the Dan Electro. Now you
Yes.
play like a lot of hollow bodies and different things. So what was involved with the sound you're looking for?
It's really weird that this is like it's a perfect transformation here because he just said Eddie Cochran. I mean Eddie Cochran. That's why I play those hollows and and I fuck around with those pickups and I change everything. I mean I get it from Gretsch and then I just like change the whole thing, put Gibson pickups in there and and anything else that doesn't quite work. And of course you gotta hammer down that bridge. If not, boy, she's like, every time I play it, it'd be like out of tune every other thing, and it's still out of tune anyways, But hollows are their own animals, and they move a lot more than solid bodies and stuff like that. More susceptible to the weather.
Well, there's definitely a definite sound. What was starting out? I'll ask you both. What was some of the I suppose the bigger influences and really shape? Because I mean, you have a very unique and cool sound. It's always been my favorite. And what do you think was the beginnings of shaping that?
Houdini.
I personally like a white guitar. Sil likes a gold guitar, but he also likes a white guitar. He used to have a white guitar. Now he has a gold guitar.
This is the first.
But I'm not sure because I can't remember how the white guitar sounded, but I think the white guitar sounds as good, if not better, than a gold guitar.
It's exactly. If you use a purple Marshall compared to like a black Marshall, the purple one is a lot louder. Sure. Sounds better. It looks better. She's sexier, but the color just makes it louder for some crazy reason. It's loud. I don't know what it is.
I think you get a guitar. Some people like a red guitar. You know what I'm saying? So it's all a matter of taste.
Okay.
And some people don't like guitars whatsoever, and they start singing and blowing the harmonica.
Okay. Well, that's
I
right.
like guitars. If you're referring to me, I like guitars. I just find them kind of cumbersome to, carry around.
So what can we expect from the set tonight? What are we looking
If
at?
you were a tuba player, you'd have to schlep that thing every place you went. No, I like a harmonica. You know why? It fits in your pocket, and you're on your way. And say you have to run,
You know who's got it really good, David? Who's that? The Triangulist. He's got it really. He's in the union. He sits there. He goes tinka tinka ding. Here's $1,500.
He's the triangle player. He stands next to the timpani player.
Yes.
He brings the timpani player a pastrami sandwich before the concert, and he has the timpani player give him the look when it's time to hit and he's got it covered.
He doesn't even know how to read. You see this? I should have been a triangulist. I'm beginning to find out my true,
Okay.
reason for being.
As opposed to being a triangulationist.
Well, I've tried that. That didn't work. Landed me in a slammer.
Okay. Wow.
This is too much information.
Well, that it's going to come in handy later, I'm sure. But well, how's the tour been going for you?
Please don't show this.
The tour. We're just getting warmed up. We've been out like what is it, about 3 weeks now?
I thought it was like 3 years already
No.
with this tour.
We're just getting warmed up.
Nah, okay, yeah. It's been about like 3 months at least.
Awesome.
Something like that.
And you're having a good time?
We're having a good time.
Any more movies coming up for you?
Not that I know of, but I'm available. I know a lot of big producers watch this show, so
There's a few maybe not that big. But I mean, you had some great, this is a monster movie show, and we want to remind the audience you were in Tales from the Dark Side, the movie.
I was. And also, I'm a huge fan of Ghidra, the hideous three-headed monster.
You're going to speak to a lot of our fans out there. That's one of the favorites on the Crimson Theater. Yeah.
It's the best. It's the best. When Rodan and Godzilla have to team up to fight Ghidra, it's probably one of the most thrilling moments in
Cinematic history.
cinematic history.
Well, that's definitely the horror show fans will like that.
Yeah, and Behemoth is pretty good too.
Oh, the giant behemoth.
Giant Behemoth.
And every now and then we actually perform Frankenstein, our song.
Oh well, now was that one inspired by the monster or by something else?
Mainly a lover
Okay.
who was a Frankenstein.
Aren't they all?
No, sometimes they could, I don't know, they could be the Wolfman.
Yeah. Well, it depends. They're one of those hippie types that don't shave.
Oh yes, it's true. It's true. I like those hairy chests sometimes.
Okay. That's real good.
It's legal in New York now.
What is hairy chest?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it was.
Hairy chest only on monkeys though in New York.
Okay.
So you see a hairy chest, that guy's a monkey.
So is there going to be another new New York Dolls album?
I hope so. I hope so. If we survive this tour, we'll probably make another one.
Awesome. Got to keep going. It's great to have you guys here.
Thank you.
It's awesome, and I just have to say, you buy a record when you're a kid, and you're still playing that record now,
Yeah.
and it's just the gift that keeps on giving. And I just like to thank both of you for the years of music and entertainment. I mean, so many have gotten tired on my year anyway, but not you guys.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, Doc.
Thank you, everybody I know hears me talk about you guys all the time on the Crimson Theater too. So.
Well, that's great.
And now they know you like Ghidra too. So
Well, for me to be up here on the Crimson Theater is kind of like a dream come true, a lifetime dream come true. So I want to thank you for felicitating this event.
Thanks, I guess, unless you have any final thoughts for my loyal night children, the ghoulies out there, one last thing to tell them.
Well, monsters are scary, but that doesn't mean that you can't get a good night's sleep.
And we've caught up to the one and only Rob Zombie, a very big name in the horror business. And, I guess my first question is kind of where did it all start out in the beginning?
Oh man, that's a long ways off. I don't know where it all started. I don't even know where it's going to end. I don't even know where I am right now. So somewhere.
That's very good. And then I remember I was coming back from Madison when they debuted your I think it was the first solo album, and it's amazing that was about 10 years ago, and the staying power that one had. So that was a different plateau, and you were coming up on the movie thing. But so how did the solo career change things for you? I guess.
I mean, the solo career was that was just sort of necessity. I mean, I'd been in White Zombie since. I guess we started in '85, and things were great. I mean, at that point, White Zombie was huge when the band fell apart, but it was just bad combination of personalities. Nobody could get along. It wasn't fun. So I was like, I'm just going to break away and do it myself, which seemed crazy because that never works. It's always a disaster for most people, except for maybe Ozzy and Sting. You know, it never works. But I had to do it just because I can't do things unless it's fun, and White Zombie just wasn't fun anymore. So
I think when you were in White Zombie, you played some clubs around here, like before it really went big, and maybe early '90s. The Unicorn. Were you at the Unicorn?
I don't remember the names of any of the places, but I do remember coming here. I mean, for sure, we would play because we had a tour manager at the time who was from here, so we would always be very conscious of being in Wisconsin. So, yeah, we come here a lot. There was never anybody. The shows were always terrible. No one would ever show up. I mean, in the early days, it'd be like 5 people.
Well, I remember you had mentioned back you were still trying to find a niche back then because you guys were doing something nobody else really did.
Yeah, we were really out of sync with the music scene at that time, so it didn't make sense because we weren't really metal and we weren't really, well, grunge didn't happen yet, so we weren't really anything. We didn't know what the hell we were. And then even once we signed to Geffen and we were making records, it still didn't make sense. We needed the world to come around to our side of things more than because we couldn't fit the other way.
Well, it has an incredible way, and like you are definitely one of the few people that's had an extraordinary solo career. And I mean, just maybe what's some of your influences that if you have any or any particular favorites out there that made you want to pick up an instrument or start singing, that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I mean, growing up in the '70s as a little kid, I mean, I worshipped Alice Cooper and Kiss and everything that you would, Elton John and Queen and Blue Oyster Cult, whatever. So that was really the thing that made me love music. I mean, but at the time, in a way, those bands were so larger than life, it didn't seem like a career choice. It seemed unattainable. And then the thing that really made it seem like, oh, you can have a band, which is the same story you've heard from a million people. Like, once you get into punk rock and discover the Ramones and bands like that, that's like, oh, this seems doable on some level. So that's basically what it was.
Well, that's really really awesome. And now this is where it starts. Where you've done something that nobody else did. I remember a quote someone said about Lon Chaney Sr. that he was talking to Boris Karloff, and he said, "What you got to do is you got to do something nobody else does and do it better than anyone else." And now in your films and your music, it seems like that's really in a way what you've done.
Well, yeah. I mean, I really never set out to, with any conscious way, ever thinking like, oh, I want to do something no one else has done. I never really think that. I just really wanted. There's things that I want to see and I don't see them. So I go, well, rather than sitting around crying that I don't see it, I should go do it myself. And that was sort of the thing with movies. I always loved movies, but I just wanted to be part of it. I always wanted to do the same with music, but now it's just about making movies that I think should exist that don't exist. I think all movies are too clean, they're too corporate, they're too everything. I just get bored. I go to the movies, I get bored. You can sometimes sit there and you can recite the dialogue to a movie you haven't seen yet. It's so predictable, you know exactly what's going to happen. You know exactly who's going to live and who's going to die because of who's cast in the movie. I mean, and I just get bored. Sometimes as much as I love movies, I hate going to the movies anymore. So that's sort of what inspired me there.
Yeah, I really totally enjoy the way you put them together. Do you use different cameras and such for different effects, or do you use one basic camera that has multitudes of effects on it, or you use different cameras for different things?
Every movie has been different. I mean, the last I don't remember what cameras we've used over the years. I mean, I shot A House of a Thousand Corpses many different ways. I shot that on 35 millimeter, but then later I shot some of it on Super 8. I shot some of it on video, on just a tiny video camera I had. And then, but I was always searching for the look. And on Devil's Rejects, I used Super 16, which gave me the exact look I wanted. Because when you blow up the negative, you get an extra grain, but you still get a really sharp image, and it looks kind of like how movies looked in the 70s. It's just that extra grit. Because that's the other thing I hate. Movies are so clean. Everyone's like all about high def. I'm like, I don't want things to look any better. Things already look too good as far as I'm concerned. I usually go back and take my negatives and try to make them look worse. And then I shot Halloween on 35. And I hated it because I thought the movie looked too clean, so I then went back for Halloween 2 and shot it on 16 to make it look dirtier.
Wow, that growing up in the 70s myself, I noticed that you seem to kind of enjoy, setting some things in that period and such. And maybe I had reminded me a little bit of like movies like Gargoyles or The Devil's Rain. Do you remember that one?
Oh, yeah. With John Travolta.
Was it William Shatner? Was John Travolta in that one?
Too, yeah. And Ernest Borgnine, of course.
Ernest Borgnine, yeah. He's another. Didn't you have a question for him, Persephone?
Yeah. I got a couple questions actually. Well, yeah, I heard you're starting to remake The Blob.
Well, no, not really. I mean, that's one of the films that came to me to possibly do. Right now, I'm not working on any movie. I have like 4 or 5 different movies in sort of early development. And it could be The Blob, might be something else. It's just the thing is, it just takes so long. That's the one thing about movies that's kind of different than records. Records, you can get your band, you go in the studio, you're working. Movies, it just takes so many factors to fall into place to get the production moving. And so that's why I have a couple different things. It could be The Blob, could not be The Blob.
Well, also, I actually recently seen El Super Bisto.
Yeah.
And what made you want to do a cartoon?
I sort of had this long-range plan with El Super Bisto. First, I did it as a comic book, and I thought, okay, if I had this idea that if I tried to pitch it as a film, it would never happen. But if I do it as a comic book, I can take the comic book, use the comic book to sell it as an animated movie, which I did. So now it's an animated movie. And then I thought, well, you could take the animated movie and try to pitch it as a live-action movie, because I always want to make a movie where you would build an entire world on a set, so everything is fake. Like all the characters' muscles would be fake, everything would be fake, but live action. That's why I purposely cast the voice actors that look just like the animated characters in real life. So if I did go make it into a live action movie, I could use the same people.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't know if they know that, but that was my plan.
Oh, that's cool. Well, also, I'm a really big fan of your wife and the work that you do with your wife. I think that's really, really cool that you guys do a lot of stuff together. And her Total Skull line. Is she going to be doing anything further with that? Is it?
I'm not sure what she's doing with that at the moment. I think she's going to expand that in some way soon, but I'm not sure what. She's sort of taking a mild break from it. I think it was overwhelming her, because it started off as this tiny little thing she started for fun, and then it's kind of like that, be careful what you wish for. Then it started getting popular, then she's like, oh my fuck, this is a lot of work. It started like, oh, this will be fun to do, and now suddenly she's running this big business, so she got a little freaked out by it.
Wow. It's kind of cool, though.
Yeah, I just think it was more.
I guess a couple more questions here. I know you're a busy guy. Any actors out there that you'd like to work with that you haven't worked with yet?
Oh yeah, tons. There's tons of amazing actors. God, there's so many people I love, and there's people I have worked with that I'd like to work with more. I mean, especially Paul Giamatti. I mean, he did El Super Bisto, but he worked one day, and even on that day, he was deathly ill. So I would love to work with him in some capacity. I mean, there's tons of people. You know, there's so many great actors.
Very good. Any aspiring words for horror movie makers everywhere?
I don't know. I mean, there's so many. I don't know what to tell people with that. I mean, you just have to do what you want to do and just do it, because everyone will try to persuade you to not do it, because everyone's biggest fear, especially your best friends, is that you will do it. So your best friends are the ones who want you to fail the most. So ignore the advice of your friends and family, because they'll steer you off the path first, because God forbid you become successful, then they look like idiots. So take them out of the mix first. Just do what you're going to do. You know, it's like this is the main thing. You have to do what you love, because if you don't, you'll give up. Because the amount of work it takes to make it work, you have to be just sickly passionate about it. That's what I say. So can't phone it in ever.
Well, thank you very much for your time, and well, this has been great. A lot of fans on the Crimson Theater will thoroughly be enjoying this. And here with the one and only Ivana Cadaver. Did I say that right? You did say that. I did something right for once. Now, where are you from for the beginning, and how did you get into this?
Well, I am based in Los Angeles, California, and how did I get into this? Well, how did I get out of the coffee and into this? I got into Patrick and I, anyone. Also, we're very, very good friends, and we collectively thought of, what we could do. We talked about, hosting some movies in this genre, what a perfect scenario that would be. So, of course, I did get myself out of the dungeon, and it's, we're on the cobwebs and so on, and, we did that, and Rich and I just started hosting movies together. It's a lot of fun.
It seems like you're having a lot of fun doing it. You definitely bring a lot of fun to the show and your character and everything like that. How many years has it been?
Well, we released the show in 2002 on KDOC, Channel 56 out of Los Angeles, and then 2005 it went national. And so, it's affiliate to affiliate. Affiliates are carried across the country. It's now in about 164 stations across the country, but we've been in reruns for a long time. And all the fans are waiting, and everybody's waiting for the show out May the 3rd, and we're gonna have a party in Los Angeles, and we're gonna have a big party to, you know,
Is that open to the public?
well, that's why we want everybody to go to ironicadaver.tv
Okay.
about the middle of April and to check out where it's going to be. And I might have some people like me enter a contest to go. So.
My friend Snarla out there in LA and Hollywood, she said I could crash at her pad, so I'll have to take her up on
You're
it.
invited.
Okay.
You're invited.
When is this? This is in May,
May
right?
3rd. That's on a Tuesday,
okay.
I think. Don't quote me. Don't quote me.
It's a Tuesday.
I think it's a Tuesday.
You know what? Tuesdays usually suck, so that'd be a great way to have a fun Tuesday.
That's what we thought. This is an homage, and this is to one of my mentors who used to own KDOC. It was the first station I was ever on in Los Angeles. It was the first station we ever launched our show out of, and it was Cal Brack. And Cal Brack was the owner of KDOC, and he was such a great mentor. He was such a great man, and we had several talks, you know, during the course of me being there in Los Angeles at the station, and he kind of guided me along when I needed to. Yeah, so this is for him because he said, Ivana, he said you can, because when we first did the show, I said I'm not happy with it. It wasn't happy. So he says you can take the show off the air, put it back whenever you want to, but it better be good. So we put it back on. It was May the 3rd, so this is an homage to Kyle Brack. Putting it back on the air May 3rd because he passed away.
Oh,
yeah, he passed away, but that's okay because I talk to him all the time.
I got you. Yeah, that's way cool. And, you know, I seen a couple of the shows. I liked them very much. And I even got the commercials with them. Which is, I don't have any kind of cable hookup where I'm at. I don't want one. But it's fun to see, you know, it has the commercials. And it just, I like even the music, the bumper between you and the commercial. The music is cool. It's cool. And you got a different insight. I like this good stuff.
Our editors are really, really good. They're very kind of, you know, fast cutting things, fast. And also inserting the music in there. You know, the editors are amazing. And so, you know, just really superb crew and superb editors and really give it that punch that it needs.
Yep. Any aspiring words for horror fans in my native Wisconsin?
Just keep watching him because he's got the best energy for an undead guy.
Okay.